Take a deep breath and settle into your comfy chair. Welcome to the Healers Collective, the podcast that will alchemize your health and ignite an expansion within your soul. I'm Caroline Nixon, and with my over 25 years of experience in all things holistic, as well as being a psychic, a healer, and a medical intuitive, I will guide you deeper into your energetics, your body, and your soul, supporting you along your path to be the best healer, psychic, energy worker that you can be, knowing and trusting that your body is fully supporting you. Together, we will be navigating all things energy, vibration, frequency, mindset, soul, body, spiritual practices, and more as we move through this thing called life. So grab a cup of something hot and let's get to it. Hello, hello. I am so excited to be finally starting a podcast. I know I am probably years behind, but I have been in resistance about doing this for a very long time. But I'm here now. So settle in, get comfy, and grab something to drink. I have a coffee this morning. And I want to share with you who I am. This is going to be short and sweet. But I want you to get a feeling for my energy, who I am, what I know, so that we can get to know each other. And while we're at it, I would love to get to know you better. So reach out. I'll have my links in my bio. You can check them out. Reach out. Let's connect. Let's help each other. I believe that together we absolutely can rise. I believe in collaboration over competition. I believe that we each have our own magic and alchemy and power within us. And we each have our own purpose in this beautiful life. And if we can do it helping each other, let's do it, okay? So who am I? Well, like I said, name's in the bio. My name is Caroline Nixon, and I have been into all things holistic, all things out there, occult, even woo-woo, for as long as I can remember. But my journey into this work really began when I graduated college in 1992, and I got a bachelor's degree in sociology. So, basically I like people. I love studying people and watching people, and I'm curious about people. I always have been. And when I was 22, I graduated college. And about a month after I graduated, my mom passed away. And I moved from California, where I was living at the time, and I packed up, I sold all my stuff. I packed it all up, packed what I was taking in my car, and I drove my 1980 Datsun across the country in 1992 by myself. I-40 all the way, baby. And I would stop and I would get a motel, because I was really broke back then, and just off the side of the road, and I would sleep and I would get up at the crack of dawn and I would drive again. And it took me about 5 days to get across the country. Why was I going across the country? Because I was actually born in North Carolina. And due to divorce, we moved on the West Coast with my mom, and my dad was still in North Carolina. So when my mom passed, I decided there's nothing left for me here. Packed up, drove across, and reunited with my dad, who I had not spoken to since my parents got divorced when I was like 7 years old, something like that. So I floundered for a while, odd jobs here and there. And my grandfather passed away a few years later and left us some money. And I decided that I needed to do something. And after I paid off some debt and bought a new car, I decided to go to massage therapy school. And I remember sitting in the office at that massage therapy school, and I had this strong knowing. And up until then, I'm going to say I might have been kind of asleep. I was surviving. I was in survival mode for a long time. You might relate to that. Just, childhood trauma, all that stuff, which I got to heal later. It doesn't go away. You have to heal it. And I remember sitting there going, this is a stepping stone for me. This is my stepping stone. And I even told the lady, I'm like, this feels like it is the beginning of a long journey. And I knew even then that I wouldn't be doing massage, for the rest of my life. But I learned so much doing massage therapy. And I'm very kinesthetic. I love hands-on. I love it. Don't teach me, don't talk to me, let me do it. And I remember it that way. And while I was in massage school, that was like an 8-month program or so, I got into so much. A huge world opened up for me. I got into aromatherapy and hypnosis and foot reflexology, and I started doing Reiki, which seems to be like the gateway energy healing modality that so many of us start our path on. And I just kept learning and growing. And with each modality, it kind of fit this puzzle of what I felt true healing was. It wasn't just the physical. It wasn't just the mental. And aromatherapy is so cool because it works on all these different levels. And I was just fascinated with all of this. And so that is my journey. I started there, and many, many moons later, I met my husband, and I started having kids, and I kind of forgot myself for a while and put all of my energy and time into being a mom. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I just felt like, is this it? I'm losing myself. And so I began to write my first book when my kids were small. I would drop them off at this drop-in play center for 2 hours because I was so weird. I don't know. I think about it now and I'm like, wow, I was a helicopter mom for a while. And I would drop them off and I would go and write. And so my first book, which was called A Mom's Guide to Sanity, it brought together all of those things that I had already learned and knew and wanted to share. And in the meantime, I was studying to be a holistic health coach, which I've actually done twice with 2 different programs. So I know a lot. And that book was amazing. It was super cathartic for me. And then I wrote another book called An Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Guide to Life. And that one was a little more spiritual. And at that time, I was really feeling a lack of spiritual community where we were living. And so I decided to create my own. And I created my own and met a bunch of people that way. And we met for a long time. And then, life and such, and we haven't met in years. But I made some great connections. And I started studying tarot and just getting into the oracle cards and all that stuff. And then one day, I'm not even sure how it happened. The memory of the exact moment completely eludes me. But I started working online. I started offering sessions online. My kids were in school at that point, and so I had all day pretty much until 3 o'clock to work on my business. And I was doing Akashic record readings because I was doing some training in that. And it grew and it morphed, and I began studying other people's modalities. Now, I'm not saying for a moment that there's anything wrong with other people's modalities. I have learned so much good stuff over the years. And I did that for several years. Had sessions. I was running programs on, weight release. I was doing chakra programs and intuition programs and healing programs and working one-on-one. And it was awesome. And I learned so much, and I had lovely clients. And then, 5, 6 years ago, I began studying with a mentor. And it was only then that I really began to own my own power as a psychic. Because before then, I was calling myself an intuitive. I wasn't even calling myself a psychic, but I was a psychic. I was just afraid of that word. And I guess I called myself a healer. I was always like comfortable with the term healer. And I was not comfortable with the term medical intuitive at all. I didn't like it. I still don't love that term because I'm not medical. I'm not a doctor. I don't diagnose, and I don't claim to cure. And intuitive implies that you're using intuition within your body as opposed to psychic, which is where I get my guidance from. I get my guidance from guides as well as myself, but I don't use my intuition in my medical intuitive work. So I've always fought that term, but I digress because that's the term that people seem to know. So that's only been within the last year or so I've been calling myself a medical intuitive because I am able to scan the body energetically and see physically what is going on, what is preventing harmony in the body. And then I'm also able to work with energy as a healer and bring in energies and move energies and shift energies. And I'm going to talk a little bit in another podcast about what it takes to truly heal the body. So be sure to check that out. But back to my mentor. So I started working with her. Her name is Carrie Cardozo. She's amazing. And it really opened me up to my own power. And I realized that even though these other modalities were great, they were fine, they were no longer working for me. I couldn't feel the energy in them, and some of them, the energy started to feel yucky to me. That doesn't mean that the energy was yucky at all, just to me. And I kind of, without being ego, okay, I feel like I outgrew them. And I needed to hone in and tap in and claim and own my own power as a psychic, as a healer, and as a medical intuitive. And that meant letting go of all of those modalities, letting go of all the things I thought I knew, and really leaning into trusting myself at a whole other level and trusting my connection and really working on my human to let go of all the things that I thought I knew, all the books I've read, all the things I've studied, all the things it's like, if you have this pain, it means this. Letting all of that go because it was limiting me. And when you come to a place of curiosity and just show me what is going on with this person or even with myself, the information that I began to receive was so much more powerful. And my healing became so much more powerful when I let all those modalities go. And it was challenging for me for a while. I was really like holding on tight to all those manuals and all those trainings and thinking about all of the investments I'd made. And I don't regret any of them because it really did bring me to where I am today. And that is, I go into every session acting as if I don't know a dang thing. And I ask to be shown what I need to know in order to help my client. That, at the end of the day, is what I am here to do. I'm here to help you feel your best so that you can expand and grow and hold more light so that you can move forward growing your business, being the best at what you do, knowing and trusting that your body is fully supporting you. And that is my passion. And that is why I am here with this podcast, the Healers Collective. This is for you, my fellow healers, psychics, energy workers, mediums, however you work with energy. This is a safe place for you to hang out, rejuvenate, get some tips, get some pointers, maybe learn something, create a community so that you can take great care of yourself. Because I don't know about you, but I know a lot of healers and psychics that give, and they are sick. They are run down. They are burned out. They put everyone before themselves. And that is an old way of living. We are needed in this world, especially now. People are sicker than ever. And you cannot help your clients heal and feel their best if you are dragging butt. You know what I mean? So I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it hopefully fairly short so you can really digest these little transmissions, these little messages. Something you should know about me is that I do channel quite a lot. And so I might even have a script and I might go off script because the message that wants to come through is going to come through. And I trust that whatever I say is going to hit somebody somewhere and it's for your highest and best good. But having said that, if I say something and you don't resonate with it, either sit with it for a minute and ask yourself if there's some resistance to receiving the message, or let it go. It might not be your truth. Just because it's my truth doesn't mean it's your truth. And we live in a society now that everybody gets so triggered and, everybody gets offended about everything. And really, it's just your truths don't match. It's cool. Let it go. Let it go. We can still be friends and not agree on every single thing. It is okay. So with that, I'm going to leave this podcast number 1, and I will see you on the next podcast. I'm going to be talking about what it takes, what is required to fully heal the body. And I look forward to connecting with you. Do be sure to leave me a review and be sure to subscribe to this podcast. Share it out if you have any healer friends that you think might be interested. And I will see you on the next episode. Bye for now.